My name is Alejandro. We're going to start off with our hands to our heart, setting an intention for this practice today. So we can close our eyes and try to send your energy into the heart area, setting your intention for your practice today. We're going to open the eyes. We're going to come to the front of our mat. As we come to the front, what I want you to pay attention is your toes. Make sure the toes are nice and forward. And I also want you to pay attention to your hips. Make sure you're not sticking your butt out like this, but you're bringing your butt in. Feel the hips in, the core nice and engaged. We're going to relax the shoulders. And then we're going to inhale all the way up, joining those hands together. Or if you want to try something a little easier, we can interlace the fingers and make a little gun here. As we exhale, we're going to open the arms wide, flat back all the way down and collapse here. Let it all go. Let go of the head, the neck, and the shoulders. Let it all fall. Use this time wisely. Deep breaths into the belly. We're going to grab the elbows and just rock side to side. Starting off nice and slow here, guys. We'll pick it up in a little bit. But no rush right now. All you got to do is breathe and hang. And then we're going to release the arms, come to center. We're going to inhale into a flat back here. And then as we come into our flat back, what I really want you to pay attention to is making sure this head, neck, and spine are all in one line. So if you have to bend the knees and the elbows in order to get this back nice and flat, that's fine with me. If you need to come up into a 65, even with the legs straight or bent, whatever it is, you can even come up to here. As long as that back is nice and flat, the head and neck are in line. With the spine, that's all I care about. And then if you can come down into that 90, even better. And if you can go lower than 90 and you can come down to the ground, that's perfect. A little too tight today for that. And then we're bringing the weight to the balls of the feet, trying to reach the head away from the hips. We're going to exhale, we're going to reach for the ground, or if you have a yoga block, or if you just want to try the harder version, we're going to bend the knees. We're going to place the palms flat on the ground. If you have the yoga block, it's going to be a little bit easier. Or you can just reach for the ground. Remember, you don't have to do this. This is all options, not mandatory. So we bring those palms flat on the ground. We bend the knees. And then from here, if you can, we're going to straighten the legs. And let's say this was my limit today. I'm going to hang right here. I'm going to look towards my belly and I'm going to breathe as deep as I can, trying to straighten my legs. And then as I get more and more comfortable, I'm going to bring my butt all the way up in the air, straighten my legs, and I'm trying to bring some weight into the hands. I'm looking towards the belly button and I'm breathing here. I'm going to step the left foot back. Bringing the knee down, inhale all the way up, exhale all the way down. I'm going to come into plank, chaturanga. And if you want to do the easy version, we're going to lay flat on the ground. We bring the shoulders and head up. Try to keep the elbows tight next to the body. Try to keep pressing the hands into the ground, feet together, look up and smile. And those of you that want to work a little harder, we're doing the same thing, but we're going to straighten the arms up. Don't forget to smile. And no matter what, we're fighting for the shoulders down and back. We don't want them to lift and go forward. We want to open that chest up and get those clavicles nice and open. We're going to exhale, downward dog here. So you could pedal the feet, move side to side, lifting one heel at a time, or you can stay static, whatever feels good for you today. I prefer to stay static. And whenever you come to your center, we're gonna try to bring those heels down to the ground. We're gonna fight the hips to the feet, and we're gonna retract the scapula. Try to bring it together as you straighten the arms. Look to the belly and breathe here. We're gonna bring the right foot up in the air. We're gonna exhale in between the hands. Runner's pose here. So as you're in runner's pose, what I want you to pay attention to is what are you doing with your hips. Make sure this left hip is not dropping downwards. It's up to the height of the right hip. The knee is right over the ankle. You could also have it slightly behind, but the more it goes forward, the harder this becomes. Feel that neck and spine nice and long here. If you want to try an easier version, we can always lower the knee down, but we're doing the same thing. We're trying to get nice and long. So I'm not letting my hip drop here. I'm trying to keep everything square. Trying to make that spine nice and long. Breathe into the belly. And then you just stay right here, or if you feel like you're ready, you lift the knee off, coming into your runner's pose here. All we gotta do is breathe. We're gonna open that foot out to the outside, hands on the inside. Same thing. That hip is gonna wanna drop like so. Fight for that hip to the same height of the other. Feel equal distribution of weight on the hands. Try not to round here. Think about a spot right here in the lower back on the last bone of the spine and come forward from there. Breathe. Try not to let the chin tuck to the chest. Try to pick a spot somewhere about 3 inches in front of you. We're gonna stay here, or we go down to the elbows. Once again, I'm trying not to let this hip drop too much. I'm trying not to round too much. I'm trying to get as long as I can in this crunchy position. Stay here as long as you like, or we're coming back to the hands. You can stay. You can come back to the center, or if you want to try something a little harder, we're going to do some yoga push-ups here. So we're going to keep the elbows tight. Don't let them flare out like this. Keep them nice and tight, and we're going to come down to the forehead and all the way up, down and up, down and up. We bring that foot to center. We're going fingertips. Inhale into your crescent. As you're in your crescent, pay attention to those hips. Make sure they're nice and center. Think about that back leg. Don't bend it. Try to make it nice and straight. And then we're coming down with the pelvic floor. You can stay right here on the hips. You can even straighten the leg if you want to do it easier. You can bring the arms bent. Straight arms for harder. And you bend the knee to make that harder. You stay here, or when you're ready, hands to the heart, and we're stepping forward here, nice and strong. Take a few breaths, fix the feet, fix the hips, feel that core engaged. We're gonna inhale all the way up. We're gonna exhale all the way down. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, flat palms. We're gonna step. So I'm gonna pretend like we already did both sides, and I'm gonna jump into the next round. We're gonna step the left foot back. So I'm gonna be doing the same side again, just in case. Inhale all the way up. We're gonna exhale all the way down. We come into our plank, chaturanga, cobra, downward dog. Push the ground away here, guys. Try to get the heels to the ground. If you need to walk the feet in a little bit, do so. Feel what's good for the body today. Press those hands into the ground. Look towards the belly and breathe. We're going to inhale that right foot up. We're going to exhale in between the hands, right into our runner's pose again. You can stay here, or whenever. Also, if you want to take it easy, lower the knee first, hang out right here. We bring the hands up just like this. Those of you that are feeling good and ready, we're going to bring that back knee off. We're coming right back into that crescent pose. Pay attention to those hips. A lot of times you want to open out this way. Try to bring them to center. And then you stay here, or warrior one. So as we come into warrior one, make sure that back heel is down. Back leg is nice and straight. Front leg, if you want to take it easy, you can straighten it. This is warrior one. You can even keep your hands on your hips for easy mode. Medium for the arms. Hard. And then, if you want to make it even harder, we start bending that knee into our warrior one. Don't let that back leg straight bend. And if you want to make it easier here with the arms up, you can always interlace. Make the little gun, and then you can really pull those arms back. Try to come into this warrior one. We're going to open up. Warrior two, so the back foot opens up to the side of the mat, the toes. We're trying to get those hips parallel to the mat. Open up in a T. Look forward and smile here. Because we're all happy warriors. Think about the shoulders. Try not to float them up, down and back. Fingertips away. Don't forget to smile. We're going to go into reverse warrior. So back hand to the back leg, arm in the sky. You can stay here or go for your bind. If you want to straighten the front leg, you're more than welcome. Really try to turn the palm. Don't let the palm turn inwards. Try to turn it behind you. Get the elbow, the eye of the elbow to look towards the face. Really try to straighten the arm. And warrior two here. We're going to go elbow to the knee, hand in the sky. You can stay here or whatever variation. So this is easy mode. This is a little bit harder. You can use a yoga block here or flat palm. And then you can stay here or come for your bind. If you're in the bind, we're trying to turn that left shoulder to the sky. We're trying to look up and smile. We're going to come out of it, hand on the ground, all the way up we go. We're going to straighten the front leg. We're going to reach forward as much as we can and drop the arm into our triangle here. As we're in our triangle, try to think about what that left hip is doing. The tendency here is to drop that hip like so you can come lower. Try not to go low. Fix that hip right in the center. Feel that parallel line with the mat. And what I want you to do is let go from the oblique, the QL, the lat, and try to fall down from here. If it's too hard, you always bend the knee. You rest the elbow right there. To make it harder, we straighten the leg, press the arm, and we come down. So this, I feel so much more in here, and that's what we want. Don't let the arm drift down. Bring the arm towards the shoulder. And now we're gonna lower his friend so they can be together. We let go of the head, look towards the belly. You can stay here. I prefer to walk my back foot in a little bit and kind of come into this scissor stance right here. Back leg is straight, back heel is down. You can bend the front knee if you want to. You try to get it as straight as you can. And now if you want to try something a little bit harder, just like in the beginning of our flow, we're going to bend that front knee. Make sure the back leg is straight, back foot is planted, flat palms on the ground, and then without lifting the hands, we're going to straighten that front leg. See what's happening to the hips. So I feel my hips going to the right. I'm going to fight those hips to the left. I'm fighting my left hip down. And I'm trying to look towards the belly button and breathe. We're gonna bend the front knee, runner's pose here. Come into plank, chaturanga, Kora. Smile, downward dog. Push the ground away. We're gonna look towards the hands. We bend. You can walk it forward if you want to take it easy. Or those of you that want to work hard, we bend the knees. We jump it nice and graceful. Let it all go here, guys. We're gonna inhale into a flat back. Exhale all the way down. So reach for the ground or flat palms and try to straighten the legs. Inhale all the way up. Exhale to the heart. Take a few breaths here. Feel the fire that's building up in the hips. Feel one side longer than the other. And rejoice, for we will bring balance. So once again, I would do another round for the other side. I'm gonna skip that and pretend like we already did it. We're gonna inhale up. We're gonna exhale down. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, flat palms. This time we step or we jump into our plank. Chaturanga, Cobra, downward dog. Push the ground away. Breathe, guys. Feel that strength in the legs. Try to make the legs work harder than the arms. The more you can push those hips to the legs, the easier this becomes. The more you'll realize how this is a resting posture. I never really understood that until I started pushing my hips to my heels. From here, we're gonna inhale the right foot up. So as you inhale the leg up, I don't want you to open that hip up and point the toe. I want you to flex the foot and point the toe to the ground, and then try to get the heel as high as you can. You'll see that you'll get limited and you'll stop right here, but you're gonna work 1,000 times more in the butt area. When you open up like this, you're working more of your hip flexor in the front. We wanna work that posterior chain. So now, as we're here, we're gonna open up, we bend, and now we work the hip by doing some circles. Opposite direction. So little circles with the knee here. Feel that circle inside the hip joint. And come to center. We're gonna follow through as graceful as we can, or we stay where we are. And come into our three-legged tabletop here. Reach over. If you want to bring this hand down, you can, or you can just reach it as far back as you can here. And we're coming back as graceful as we can. We straighten the leg, lower down. From here, we're gonna bend the knees, come to plank, downward dog, plank, drop the hips, look up. Try not to drop the knees, toes stay on. Smile, downward dog. And then we're gonna bring that knees down to the ground, toes together, child's pose. Breathe here. I like to get my big toes together, separate my knees as wide as I can. You do what feels good for you today. And then I try to reach as far forward with the arms, dropping that forehead onto the ground. And then if this is too tough and you want to try a different variation, you can always bring the legs together. Bring the hands towards the feet. Let the shoulders round. And whatever version you chose, we're always breathing into the belly. Trying to send that pressure from the belly into the lower back. Expanding the diaphragm in the back area of our body.